Hey, good morning, guys. Another episode of Sawdust Diaries. Today, we're going to do what we had talked about a couple weeks ago. We're doing actually our thoughts on the Milwaukee Track Saw. We're going to throw in a couple other things too, but this Milwaukee Track Saw we've been using for, I don't know, 2-3 weeks now. We did get an extension to it because we wanted to be able to make long rips. So we got a second 55-inch extension, and we got the little connectors. So we're going to kind of give our real opinion on this. We're not going to go into a lot of minutia, specs and all that. There's tons of reviews on this thing out there. We're just going to use it, tell you guys what we like, what we don't like. To begin with, what I didn't like is like when we ordered the extra track, it didn't come with the connectors to put it together. We had to go find these. We found them on Tool Nut for like, I don't know, 30 bucks. There's a couple of them. You only use one at a time. On Amazon, these were like, I don't know, like twice that, 60 or 70 bucks, right?
They were about 70 bucks.
Yeah, it's crazy. For a little piece of aluminum with set screws in it. Anyway, that's a negative. That's what I didn't like. But if you're using just the 55-inch and you don't need longer cuts, then you're good to go.
So with a 55-inch, you can cut.
I think you can cut a 4-foot board. I think that's the reason they do that, because you lose some at the end with the length of the actual footprint there. I think you lose a little bit. We're going to make a long cut. We're going to make a short cut. Show little things that I've kind of discovered using this thing. Takes a little while to kind of get used to it. One of the things that, do you want me to just go into this or what?
Oh, yeah, why not? Well, okay. Well, one of the biggest things we found is that the gauge was off, right?
Yeah, that's right. Yeah. I'd forgotten about that.
The leveling gauge, we actually had to put a piece of tape on it and mark where it was zeroed. So we took a 1, 2, 3 square and we 90'd the blade, and it was off by 2 or 3 degrees, right?
It wasn't off much, but it was off enough. And one of the reasons we really bought, if you're just cutting sheet goods, then it was way close enough.
Yeah.
But for us, some of this stuff that we're going to be doing, we need an absolute 90 square edge because we're going to be gluing stuff together. We've got a couple slabs that I think we're going to be cutting straight edges on. So we really needed it absolutely dead square so we have good glue ups. So we did do that, and we made that adjustment on there, which
it was off enough.
It was off at least a couple degrees, I think.
Yeah, and that's, I don't know, it's kind of irritating a little bit because you spend a lot of money. I would say but
well, you did too. Yeah,
I spent my inheritance on that.
That's right. Yeah,
but I mean, it wasn't that big a deal, I guess.
Yeah.
It's not like you can't 90 it. We just we squared it up and then had to make our own mark. That's all.
Yeah, and for us, that's super important. If you're just cutting MDF and plywoods and that kind of stuff, right out of the box, it's good to go.
Yeah.
Another thing that I discovered when I was using it the other day is that...
Let me make sure that's on camera.
So what I found out is that I've got the battery off right now, by the way. If you're doing anything with it, take that battery off. Don't take any chances. I was getting ready to make a cut, and I put a little pressure, downward pressure, because when I hit the switch, I wanted it to just, dive in there. And then all of a sudden, the switches were locked up. They literally wouldn't do anything. They were locked up. But as soon as I took pressure off there, now the switches work just fine. And I've never heard anybody talk about that, but that's pretty cool. That's a really good. I was being careless by putting pressure on this and then trying to hit the switch. That's a bad idea, and I didn't even think about it until I had to try and figure out why this thing wasn't, why the switches weren't work. So, anyway, the switches work, and then you bury it in and make your cut.
One thing that I liked about it, because have you ever used one before we got this?
No, never.
No, me neither.
Yeah.
And I always kind of thought that the setup would always take a long time. Yeah. Like, it's going to take a while to set it up to get your straight cut and all that. But I was really surprised because I made a cart. Matt Outlaw has a video on how to make a rolling cart, and I wanted to make it even though Dad didn't believe in me. but that's all right.
That's
a whole nother video.
That's not fair.
It's pretty fair.
I believe in you.
Yeah.
When it comes to shooting.
Yeah, when shooting, I'm good. Building carts, But anyway, so there's like this piece right here. This is almost 18, so it's like 17 3/4 by 8 foot. Well, if we need a 6-inch piece off of this, it's too big to put on the chop saw, and it's real cumbersome. You know, it's 8 foot. It would be kind of a pain to do it on the table saw. So I'm thinking circular saw. But to set it up and cut even a small piece, it's almost no time to set up.
Yeah.
And it gives you a nice straight cut. I was really impressed with the fact that it wasn't a bunch of setup just to get a cut.
Right.
I cut everything with, almost everything for that cart with this, and it worked great.
Yeah, even small rips and all kinds of
even
stuff.
small rips, because the table saw is great and you can use it for a million different things. But if you have an 8-foot piece and one guy doing it, that's kind of a pain.
Yeah,
kind of dangerous
kind of
too.
dangerous.
Yeah. But the setup to get a good cut, even on a small piece, is like super minimal.
It's super fast, and we'll show you guys that here after we get done with this long cut. We'll do a short cut, and it's a lot faster than you would think.
I dig this thing, man.
Yeah.
I really like it.
Anyway, so these are the little rails that connect the two pieces.
And it only connects with one, so when you get the piece, you actually get 2 of them in case you want to put 3 pieces together, which is pretty cool, but because you only need one to connect them.
So we've already put the set screws in. Slide that in there, kind of, halfway. Eyeball it halfway. Now the thing that we did learn on another thing that we were working with, and I've heard this before too, is don't tighten these things, just snug them. Don't tighten them up too much, otherwise you'll actually damage the aluminum on the front side. So then from here, you just flush that thing up, cinch down your set screws, and that should give you a nice even. And what I'll do is take the track and make sure that does a nice transition and doesn't get caught up in there. The other thing is, it's pretty cool the way these things work here. These little cams. Took a minute to figure these out, but these little things are flexible. So when you first put your saw on, you put it in the track, and then you just kind of tighten these down. See if that thing will move. If that slops a little bit, then as you tighten those down, it closes up that well, I'm calling it slop, but now you can tighten them too tight to where it won't slide, but that, you're getting no movement there at all now in the front, no movement in the back, and that thing transitions from one to the next super easy. And I haven't even we need to put some wax on this, some paste wax on that, but that makes a nice transition, nice and easy.
Another thing that this didn't come with that kind of surprised us is it didn't come with the clamps to clamp your track. And that was another thing that was just kind of, irritating, I guess. Luckily we had some from another tool that we stole, but it surprised us that we really didn't even need them. This grip on the bottom here holds the track into place really well. I'm sure there's going to be instances where we will need them, but for the most part, I didn't use them at all.
And that's the thing that probably surprised me more than anything else, is these little rubber strips on the bottom of here, once you have some pressure on them, they don't move. And it's like, I felt really uncomfortable making a cut without this thing clamped in place. It was like, how do you ensure that thing doesn't move? Well, I think it literally is it's kind of a friction grip kind of thing. So as soon as you have some weight on that thing just doesn't move. It just rock solid. And I was shocked, honestly. Yeah. I was absolutely shocked. The other cool thing is, wherever your marks are, the neat thing is you don't have to do any special math or anything. Let's just say we want to cut a 7-inch strip. I'm going to make a 7-inch mark there. I'm going to make a 7-inch mark there. again, guys, I'm not being real super accurate with this stuff, but the way this little splinter guard works, when you first get it, you like do your first cut and it rips off part of this little rubber deal there, what they call the splinter guard. Literally, I am just gonna line that up on both there. Make sure I've got plenty over there, and that's it. That's it. There's no clamping, no nothing. That is it.
Well, I've seen a lot of guys talk about, you know, even after they cut their sheet goods down, they still run it through the table saw.
Yeah, you
I know Matt talks about that in his video on the cart, which I'll show you guys the cart. It's pretty awesome.
So you're saying that he just roughed it, got it
Essentially,
roughly
yeah.
with this, and then got the final dimension with the table saw by taking a little bit off.
And I didn't do
about
that for the cart, but my cart didn't turn out perfect either. So
well, it's as perfect as it needs to be for
That's
you
right.
and me.
That's
I
right.
like your cart, so
He's lying, you guys.
You can say what you want to say.
He doesn't
But I
like
think
my
your
cart.
cart looks. Look at that thing.
Look at that cart.
It's like
You know what? Let's show them the cart real quick. It's got stuff on it, but look at this.
I like to refer it to as a work of art cart.
A work of art cart. I like it.
Yeah.
Yeah. Freaking A.
And
got little
it's
shelves.
already becoming
It's a catch-all.
a catch-all.
Yeah,
yes.
it's the catch-all cart.
Catch-all cart.
All right. Whenever
right.
you're ready, Dad, go for
So
it.
I put the battery on. We found that having your battery at full charge is probably a good idea when you're doing this. So again, this isn't clamped down, nothing. It's on the mark that I wanted. Didn't quite go through there.
No, this is just a touch.
Close enough. Anyway, you guys get the point. But yeah, nice smooth cut. I probably am close to 7 inches. I might be a little bit short.
No, dude, that's 7 inches on the dot right there.
Let's see if I messed it up at this end.
No.
Nah, I'm okay with that.
Yeah,
That's close enough to
pretty
7
good.
for me. And you saw, again, there was no clamps, no nothing. It just sucked down and was solid. I'm really, really surprised at not only the accuracy, but being able to be user-friendly and work real quick.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Yeah, that's probably my favorite thing about it is the fact that there's not that much setup. Doing a longer cut, there's more because you got to put the two tracks together. But for the most part, it's really fast. So what was the price for the track saw, Dad? You got the track saw, no battery, and
Yeah, because
one
we already
rack.
had the platform.
Yeah, and then one track, right?
Yes, came with one track and the tool only. Didn't come with a battery or a charger. About $500 maybe, something like that. But you can get them on sale. Yeah, and hook into Matt 731 Woodworks. He has,
In fact,
like a texting thing that tells
Yeah.
you when everything comes on sale.
In fact, the day after we bought it, Matt posted that this exactly what we bought was on sale for like $100 cheaper, and I
Yeah.
was like, "Hey, Dad." He's like,
Yeah, we missed that one.
Yeah. So even though this is small enough where I could cut it on the chop saw, I'll just show you guys how easy it is just to get a small cut. So let's say I want an 8-inch piece. So I measure it 8 on 2 sides. Then I'm just going to take the track, put it right up against those marks, and then from right there. Now let's measure the piece and see if it's 8 inches. That's a little bit off. It's a 1/16 off. Yeah, it's about...
But it's even 16th.
It is. So even though, that's small enough to do on the chop saw, and that wasn't the best example simply because you had so much of the track sticking out on either side, you can make small cuts, and it's super easy. I dig this thing, man. I really like it.
As far as setting the depth, This thing is really cool. This is the depth adjustment right here of how deep the saw goes. So let's just set it deep right now. So that's set deep, and it does have positive stops. But what I like to do if I'm cutting, whatever I'm cutting, what I like to do literally is just move that thing up, and it stops wherever you want it to be. I'm kind of leaning over it here. So let's see if that's deep enough. That's still, oh, that's actually pretty good. So I kind of just go ahead, keep the battery off, and just double check my depth there to make sure it's where I want it to be. But this thing is pretty cool. Literally, you just depress that, and that is your depth adjustment. And wherever you stop that thing, man, it locks it in place. But it does have some positive stops as well. It's super easy to use. It's quality. This thing is really a nice machine. This thing is just rock solid. It's going to do everything we want it to do.
That's our thoughts on the track saw. I know it's kind of a unconventional review. We didn't go over all the specs and everything, but like Dad said, there's a ton of videos out there that do that.
Yeah. All right. So that's episode 2. Of Sawdust Diaries. We got more coming. We got some other things that we want to talk about and share with you guys, and you guys can kind of see what we're working on. We got some really cool stuff coming up.
We have one that's Gus out there going crazy. We got one possible really big project coming up. We don't know yet.
We just found out today that it might happen.
It might.
We'll see.
We'll see.
Yeah.
Also, guys, make sure and let us know. We're talking about doing the big meetup in October.
Yeah.
So it'll be a full weekend. Come to the house and hang out for the weekend. We'll do some woodworking. Hang out, barbecue, drink some beer.
Yeah, so if you guys are interested in that, we're just throwing the idea out. We haven't said it yet, but if you guys are interested in that, you're going to be around this area, we'd love to have you come out. We'll let you know whether it's going to be a done deal sometime in the next few weeks. Also, we're going to be in Solitude, Utah in July.
Yep, July 17th through the 21st, something like that.
Yes, for that TAC.
Yeah.
Yep. Anyway, thanks guys. We love you. We'll see you on the next one. Bye.
Bye.